Shamai, I've got a couple of U bases, I've got a set of Flatwound strings, and I got a couple of Pickguards. One bass is on the workbench ready, this one for a little bit later, so I'm going to start off changing to Flatwound strings and putting this gorgeous white pearl Pickguard on. Wish me luck. Right, it's been a few years since I've changed a Pickguard on a bass, so this is the fretted Kala U bass, a solid body. I want to put Flatwounds on this, so my first job is I'm going to take off the strings that are on here. I don't think I'm actually going to have to take the strings off the other one to change just the Pickguard, but I'm trying to keep things as easy as possible. So much quicker using a tuner or string winder. I'm not cutting the strings because I want to keep them. I never know when I need spare strings, and these are, ow, quite new. First injury of the day, awesome. Okay, we finally got the strings off. They're a little bit tight up where they were around the tuners, but they are off now. And as I said, there was no point in just cutting them off because there's nothing wrong with those strings at all. Okay. Right, next to remove this scratch guard. Okay, I need to take off the volume and the tone pots. They are just slide-on ones. You do sometimes get ones with a little screw in the side, but these ones just pull on and off. So let's put those in the right order up there for a minute. There we go. Little bits of plastic left underneath. Right, okay. I'm going to hand loosen these for a minute and then see if I can get my drill on them, which should make life a little bit quicker. So that's all the main screws that are holding it down, but there are still two washers and nuts on by there. So with any luck, I'll be able to find the correct fitting on my wonder tool. Is that the way? Yes, I believe. This is the Nomad, Music Nomad music tool. It's got all sorts of brilliant little connectors on here. Okay, so they are now finger loose. I'm going to carefully take these off. And there's a little washer underneath, so I'm going to just pop those there out of the way. Same goes for this one. Pop those out of the way. It's a bit of a faff because there was a little bit of plastic left. There we are. Achevi. Okay, so in theory now this should just lift up. We hope anyway. Haven't left these screws anyway? No. It seems a bit tight just down by the end of the neck a minute. There shouldn't be anything else holding it on. Just wondering if there's maybe a little bit of adhesive down below, down here. Obviously I don't want to break it, but I don't want this one on here. Right, I've got it off. Yes, I managed to knock the camera over because it was very, very tight around the bottom of the neck. Okay, I want to first of all see, does this fit? And it should. And more importantly, all the screw holes should line up. Yes, they do. Right, I'm going to have a quick clean up of all of this for a minute. There's a little bit of dust and things around there. And then we shall see if this fits back on. Okay. Okay, everything looks pretty good there. Having a look at this. Now this one has got some shielding tape over there, which I can do on this one because I got some of that. I don't think it needs anymore as long as I'm replacing what was on here. There didn't seem to be any interference or anything, so we'll do that next. So all I'm going to do is pop that across there and hopefully that'll shield the volume and tone. And obviously I've got to put the holes back in so that the controls can actually pop through. I don't want to see any bits of copper tape coming through on the front, so I'm just tidying it up a little bit before it goes back on. There we go. Okay, right. So, how well does this fit? Obviously, the other one was a little bit tight at the bottom of the neck. So, let's just see. It's pretty close. The pickups all fit. There is a little bit round the bottom of the neck, which is probably why it was quite tight to start with. So I'm just going to fuss with that for a minute. But the good news is all the other holes seem to line up really, really well. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to file a tiny little bit off each side with there. Looking at these now, they are pretty much identical. I just think it's going to be a really tight fit up by the neck, because the original was a really tight fit up the neck. And in fact, if I try and put the original back on now, it's as difficult as the new one. So we shall persevere, we'll get there. Right, I've got the big boy tools. Let's see if we can take a little bit more off. Doing it this way. But remember, little and often. We must be getting close now. Surely. Yep, it's just that one corner. Everything else seems to be okay now. Oh, we're almost there. We are almost there. Right, a tiny little bit more off this one. Now, why is this such a faff? Because, you know, you can go on to places online where you can get ready-made pick guards for your instruments. Well, these are brand new, so nobody has made these. So Magnus, let me get this right, play U-bass guy from Sweden, who is a colour artist and things, he had a friend make him one. And in fairness to both Magnus and his mate, Per, they said, yeah, we'll make you one. I will, hang on. I will pass on Per's details to people if they want me to, if we can get this all done. But we're almost there. But you can sort of understand why it is so difficult, because obviously in Sweden they've taken it off this, the original, and the original is really, really tight. Okay, so let's see. I'm starting to feel a bit more confident now in terms of we'll get this on. Ooh, that's looking good. That's looking really good, actually. Everything is lining up. The only thing I need to do is to get the volume and tone back. Oh, I should have done that, shouldn't I? Right, hang on. Hang on. Right, I'm going like that. Okay. Everything seems to be lining up. Cool. All right, I think we're almost ready. Now the last thing, I've got to remember to do this. I'm not 100% sure if there's any plastic left on here, because if there is, I want to take it off right now, just to make life a little bit easier with the screws and things. So, I can't tell. I don't think there is. I am 99.9% certain that there isn't another plastic layer on this pickguard. I'll be so annoyed if there is, after I've put all the screws and things on. No, I think we're okay. I can't feel anything on there. Quite often they come with 2 layers of plastic. Right, okay. I think we're almost ready to start putting stuff back on then. Awesome. I don't think there is. So, first of all, let's put these little booties back on. So we have a washer and then a nut. Yeah, we'll tighten those up properly afterwards. Right, okay, screws next. I'm going to put each of them in by hand to start with, and then finish them off with the drill. Cool. Bit of a faff, but it didn't actually take much refitting. I think it's just because, as I said, the original is very, very tight around the neck, or the bottom of the fretboard rather. And let's just tighten those up. Cool. Replace those back on, and these just push. There we are. Right, so that is the new pickguard or scratch plate put back on. I'm going to go and have a quick cup of tea, and then I'm going to come back, put the strings on. Right, I've got my strings. Just before I put them on here, I'm just going to give the fretboard a little bit of a clean because I can. They're very small, these frets on the mini basses. So these are the direct replacement straight from Carla. So with any luck, fingers crossed, they're going to be easy to fit. As you can see by there, they are actually all numbered as well, just in case. All right, so just, hang on, let me have a quick look to see the length of these for a minute. Remember now, these instruments are 23.5-inch scale, and it's only now Carla have brought out these Flatwounds, and none of the other companies that are making the mini basses have brought them out yet. There are a few others that I want to try, but this seemed to be the most sensible option. So just to have an idea, so we're looking at, now I know I'm going to have to cut a little bit because that is way too much on there, but cutting it where the cotton bound is, we should be safe. Now what I also want to do very, very quickly is grab a couple of other basses just to have an idea if these strings are going to fit. In fact, look, there's our G. Yeah, no problem. You can see our A has got loads of length on there. D string, more than enough. And then the E, loads of string, and of course these fit straight through the tuning heads. But here's the Flight Mini. Now, yeah, there's plenty of length on there. Will it fit through? Yes. So, to me, there is no reason why this shouldn't fit this bass. There's our A string, which is obviously a little bit higher on there, but that all fits. So the main things I'm looking at are the winding, the cotton winding starts after the nut, and these are fitting in the tuning heads. Let's have a look. Yeah, no issues with that. That is certainly going to be okay. And the G string. Now these are a slightly heavier gauge, so if I was to put these onto this bass, I don't know if I'm going to, not these strings, but if I'm going to change them to flats at some point, I may need to adjust the nut a little bit. But in terms of scale and whether they fit in the tuning heads, yes. Right, my fan of Pee-wee has already got Flatwound, so I'm not intending to change those in a minute, but it'd just be interesting to know if these are likely to fit on here. And the answer to that, in theory, should be yes. D string, which is the longest one on here, I don't know. Yes, that has certainly got the length on there. Okay, let's try some more. The Blackstar. Blackstar has just about got the length on there for getting over the nut, and just, well, it does actually, it fits in fine. Let's try one of the longer strings. There's the D. Yeah, that all seems to be okay. All right, I'm just going to go and grab the Flight JB. Okay, we got the Flight Mini JB. This is the one where if something wasn't going to fit, it would probably be this, because it's that much longer. Now, so E string, yes, because that's the shortest, and yes, it's going to fit into the tuning head. G, I don't know. Ooh. Obviously we're going to put it under there. To me, there is just enough length. I wouldn't, until I actually change it, I wouldn't say 100%, but there's certainly the length to get from the saddle up to the nut, and then underneath the string tree there might just about be enough up this top end to wind round. Okay, I cannot guarantee that they will fit, because obviously I'm not changing them on this today, but in theory they should. Okay, back to the job in hand. While I'm in checking mode, I just want to have a little look to see how much we cut off these, just as a bit of an idea. Let's see. So there's our, oh no, which one's our E string? I would say that's our E string, but there. So our E string on here, again, just to have an idea of how much has been cut off. Okay, so I'm looking They're both, sorry, it's a bit fiddly. I got the ball ends at the same, and can we see there that there's an awful lot more string? Okay, yes, I'm going to be cutting some off, but that's just to give you an idea. All right, so there is quite a bit of length on these new Flatwounds. Okay, so one clean fingerboard, one new scratch plate, there we go. So how much do you cut off? Generally they recommend going up maybe 2 or 3 inches. So I want to give myself plenty of string, because at the end of the day you can always cut more off, but if you cut too much off you can't go back. So, but you can see there is about a fingernail between the nut and where the cord binding starts. So I am literally just going to have a quick measure, because it's better to cut too little and cut again than to cut too much and ruin the string. So we're going to go up here, because it's the bound bit. All right, I'm not going to have the issues that I had when I cut the flatwound strings before, of everything just unwinding. There we go. I hate that bit. Right, so we've got to put the string. This is not like normal bass or ukulele bass strings. These should go in, and I'm just looking to see, there is a hole in the middle, hopefully. Yep, where I'm just going to poke it through. There we go. Yep, that's right. Now I'm going to make a little right angle there and start turning the peg. I want it at the top, going down the tuning machine head. Right, I would say I've got a little bit too much on there, so I'm going to just take it off and cut it down just a fraction more. As I said, you can cut more, you can't redo it if you cut too much. Right, that's nice and neat. Yeah, I haven't had to alter the nut at all, because these are a slightly thinner gauge, like tiny, slightly thinner. I think these are 0.49 compared to the 0.50 of the roundwounds. So, next one. And the same process, pop the string into the hole in the middle. Second one done. Ooh. Remember, you're always trying to get the string to go underneath, and you certainly don't want it crossing over on the machine head. That's looking pretty good. There is only one thing left to do now, and that's plug it in. So I haven't done any intonation or action adjusting. That is literally as I have just put the strings on. Yeah, it's not fretless, but wow, these Flatwounds are very, very nice to play.
A few moments later.
Round 2, putting a scratch plate, purple, onto this one. I'd like to think it's going to be slightly easier, but I doubt it very much. We'll see. I am hoping not to have to remove the strings, but again, if we've got to do a lot of work to it, we may well have to. So we're removing the volume and the control. We're going to hand loosen the screws. The reason I was using the pliers and that, again, there's a little bit of plastic on there, so it just wasn't catching quite right with the tool. Okay, let's see how tight this one is on here. I know what the issue is because it's only a small amount of space. I've got to get this over the pickup because it is so tight here. Right. No, I'm going to have to take the strings off. There we go. All right, so what it is you've got to lift and pull to get it over the actual pickup with this. And now in theory I should be able to wiggle it out, but wow, it's really tight. So bear that in mind if you are planning on changing the pickguard. There we go. So that one is off anyway. Let's give it a bit of a tidy up first of all. Please note, I am using a different cloth to the one I cleaned the, what's it called with? Fretboard. So yeah, there's a little chip just by there, but I don't think I've chipped it now. But of course it's all hidden with a pickguard anyway, so there's no worries. Right, that seems to be most of the dust away. Again, all the holes seem to be matching up. Pickguards are fine, but I'm going to have to do the same again, I think. Just take a little bit off this area here to get it to fit around the bottom of the fretboard. Okay. Right, what I was just doing then was just seeing if I could pull it back over the pickups, it would slot really nice and snugly up against the fingerboard. But it won't. I am going to have to take a little bit off again, I think. Okay. Okay. So close. We're almost there. We've got to get these pots up through the hole. There's one. There's two. Right. So that's all in there. The holes all line up. We've got our volume and our tone control through. We're looking good. Okay, so I am happy with that. Yeah, it is tight, and the reason it's tight is because the originals are really tight as well. In fact, it's probably as hard getting these off as it is getting the new one on, but wow, that looks nice. Okay, right. Right, let's put the screws and bolts and washers and things on, and then we can put the strings back on again. Yeah, all the screw holes are matching up nicely, so I will just put these in by hand to start with. They're only diddy screws, so I thought, oh, let's not mess about. Won't take long to do it this way. Scratch plate on. They're turning absolutely fine. Okay, restring it again. Remembering, don't get the strings crossing over, and you want to be starting from the top and working your way down on them. And of course, with it being such a short scale, when you are tuning it, there's not a lot you really need to be turning those pegs, hence why I don't go and use this for the final tune. So that is looking pretty good. In fact, it's looking pretty snazzy, to be honest. So I'm literally just going to plug it in to make sure everything is still working okay, but I'm happy with that. Cool. So everything is working fine, but wow, look at that. Oof, you can see now where I put my nice new purple t-shirt on today. Thank you, Ems. Right, yeah, new purple pickguard. And I'll be brutally honest, as soon as I knew I was probably going to be able to get hold of one of these purple ones, I was always just going to go with a nice black because I thought that was going to look very nice. So yeah, not a bad couple of jobs this morning. Hang on. We have now got a fretted Carla SB, but with flatwounds and a pearl white pickguard. And we've got my fretted SB with a purple pickguard, but this one already had flatwounds on it. It wasn't as straightforward as I wanted it to be. The strings were brilliantly straightforward, and well, I'd like to say, I think anyway, that these Carla flatwounds will fit the Flight mini bass, the Blackstar travel bass guitar, my Fanner Pee-wee bass, and I think the Flight Mini JB. I haven't tried it. All I've done is sort of measured and looked at the way they would fit, but I can't see any reason. But I will try changing some of those at some point. But look at that! Ooh, very, very nice. They fit. The lovely man who has made these, his name is Per. P-E-R. He's from Sweden and he is a friend of Magnus. Got in contact, knew that I already had this one. Yeah, I had to look at that then. The fretted, and knew I was looking at a fretless. And he said that his mate had made him a pearl white for his SB. And he's made these two. He has given me permission to pass on his details to people. All right, they're not the easiest thing to fit, but I fitted them all by myself as well. So thank you, Magnus, for initially getting in contact with me about these pickguards. Thank you, Per, for making me these lovely pickguards. And the whole process was very easy. I will let him know about the very tight fitting around here. I have got two bass ukuleles or mini U basses or whatever you want to call them that I am now very, very happy with. And there wasn't too much shouting, swearing or injuries. I think I jammed my finger right at the beginning, but apart from that, we're A-okay. So I do hope you have enjoyed or at least found this video helpful in terms of changing over pickguards and changing strings. Woohoo! I'm happy with that job, and I did it all by myself. If you'd like to support me here on Ukulele Wales, I do have a Patreon page. I'll drop a link in the description below for that. I do hope that you have not only enjoyed this video, but found it useful as well. If you've got any comments or questions, please feel free, leave them below. Give us a like if you've enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you for watching.